An especially disturbing and bizarre case of animal hoarding here in the Orange County area. I'm Christina Pascucci live in Stanton. We'll tell you all about it coming up in just a few minutes.
It is literally an animal house. Stanton police have raided a home that contained dozens of animals, including dogs, cats, chickens, even a raccoon. KTLA's Christina Pascucci joins us live from Stanton with those details. Christina, good morning.
Good morning to you, Chris. Yeah, I'm standing right in the middle of this mobile home park, so I'm going to try to keep my voice down since it's still early and people are sleeping. But this is the home that was red tagged. You can see all the stuff outside of the home, and why people were actually alerted to this initially is because, or police rather, is because people were concerned for the woman who lived here's welfare. And so initially when police entered, it was all the objects in the home that made this home uninhabitable, and then came the animals. And like you said, 8 dogs, about 20 cats, a crow, rabbits, a lizard. If we could show you some scene as they were taking these animals away last night. And we're told by police that some of these animals were in especially small cages. So the woman who lives here now faces some charges of not providing proper care and attention to these animals. We're told relatively the animals were in pretty good condition except for some elderly dogs that the woman had under her care. But definitely not a story you hear every day. And as the morning goes on, we're going to get some feedback from neighbors and try to figure out how they didn't know this was going on sooner, because I'm telling you, standing out here right now, the smell is nauseating. It's overbearing to even be standing outside. So you can just imagine what the conditions were like actually inside of the mobile home. So stay tuned for that coming up on your KTLA Morning News at 5:30. Back to you guys.
Well, it is literally an animal house. Stanton police have raided a home that contained dozens of animals, including dogs, cats, chickens, a raccoon. And that's not all. KTLA's Christina Pascucci joins us live from Stanton with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Megan. A very interesting story, something you don't hear every day for sure. Now, this is what happened. It was an anonymous tip last night. Neighbors apparently said that they smelled something like an ammonia scent. I don't know what ammonia scent that is, because that would be a welcome reprieve. It is just nauseating here. And police say that they came to this house and found all these objects lined up inside the home. It was uninhabitable, and that's where they found the animals. And it's actually pretty common for object hoarders to be animal hoarders. According to our friends over Animal Planet, they say about 40% of object hoarders end up hoarding animals as well. And now we're going to show you last night as police and animal control came and retrieved all those animals. We're talking about 8 dogs, 20 cats, a crow. I mean, where do you even get the crow? Rabbits, a lizard, frog, raccoon, and several mice. As you might imagine, this mobile home has been red tagged. But what I thought was so interesting was I was speaking to neighbors early this morning as they were going to work. They all say they smelled something horrible coming from this mobile home park, but a lot of them say they never even saw any animals. It's pretty sad, actually. About 3,500 cases of animal hoarding in the U.S. every year. A lot of them go unreported, but this one a little more unusual because of the variety of animals, not only how many there were, but all the different kinds of animals that were found. And coming up later on your KTLA Morning News, we're going to talk to more neighbors and try to see if someone's home. She shouldn't be living here now because it's been deemed uninhabitable, but there are lights on and a TV on, so we're going to see if we can talk to her and find out what exactly the circumstances of the situation and how it came to be like it ended up being. So reporting live in Stanton, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News. I'm going to throw it back to the desk.
Stanton got a very smelly surprise when they raided a mobile home last night. Dozens of animals, including dogs, cats, chickens, even a raccoon. KTLA's Christina Pascucci joins us live from Stanton with the latest details. And you said you could actually still smell it from where you're standing, Christina.
Good morning, Chris. Yes, a smelly surprise is really a nice way of putting things, because even the next day after all the animals have been taken out, the smell, the stench is almost unbearable. It's just nauseating. And you can see all these objects that were taken out of the home last night when police and animal control came. She's an object hoarder and apparently an animal hoarder, because when animal control went inside, they not only found feces and urine everywhere, but they found 8 dogs, 20 cats. Let's show you as they were taking some of those animals out. A crow, rabbits, lizards, frogs, raccoons, mice. I mean, it's just unfathomable, really. And neighbors say that at one point this neighbor even had a possum. They say she would just see animals basically coming around this mobile home park and just take them inside. And people didn't really know how bad the problem was, because even though they smelled the stench, the animals were never really taken outside, except for maybe an occasional dog. Let's hear what else neighbors had to say.
Yeah, the animal control said that the floor was full with urine, about that much, and feces, and underneath the bed and everywhere. I don't even know where she slept.
I knew she had a bird and a dog. I've never seen the raccoon. I guess she's really an animal lover.
And that's certainly one way of looking at it, an animal lover. Now, we're told by our friends over at Animal Planet that there are about 3,500 cases of animal hoarding every single year. A lot of those cases go unreported, but usually you don't see such a variety of animals. And this woman, she does face charges of not properly taking care of animals, not animal cruelty, because that would be a felony. I guess some of the animals inside were in small cages, most of them in decent health. Neighbors saying she had them each in their own little room, the reptile room, the cat room. So we're learning more and more details as the morning goes on, getting increasingly bizarre, and you will hear the very latest on your KTLA Morning News. Reporting live in Stanton, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Christina, thank you for that story.
Well, it's literally an animal house. Stanton police have raided a mobile home that contained dozens of animals, including dogs, cats, chickens, even a raccoon. KTLA's Christina Pascucci joins us live from Stanton with details on this. Christina, good morning.
Good morning to you, Frank. Yes, even a day later with all the animals gone, the stench here is still penetrating the air. Camera guy Darren and I feeling almost sick from this nauseating smell. And you can see outside of the mobile home where we are, all these objects. This woman was apparently an object hoarder and also an animal hoarder. Often these go hand in hand. Now, animal control, they said they were surprised not only by the number of animals inside, but also the wide range and diversity of them. Now, neighbors say the woman who lives here around 40 years old or so, they describe her as really nice and friendly, and they didn't realize how bad the problem was because she always kept her animals inside. They do say she has a gift with animals, which, you know, they have a point. She was able to tame a raccoon, even catch a crow. Animal rights groups, they're saying hoarding's a really serious issue, and they hope that she can get some professional help. Reporting live in Stanton, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News. I'll throw it back to you.
We hope you can get to some fresh air quick. All right.
Stanton police got a smelly surprise when they raided a mobile home late last night. Dozens of animals, including dogs, cats, chickens, even a raccoon. KTLA's Christina Pascucci joins us live from Stanton with details of this. Christina, good morning.
Good morning to you. When you say smelly surprise, it almost makes it sound pleasant. This is a stench that is just penetrating the air. Cameraman Darren and I cannot wait to get out of here because I got to tell you, it is just horrifying, this smell. And you could see these are all the objects that police came and took out of the home last night. Not only was this woman apparently an object hoarder, but also an animal hoarder. We're talking 8 dogs, 20 cats about. Let's show you a scene as they were taking out these animals as animal control was here last. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, certainly. But she really is described as nice and friendly. I probably didn't think she was actually hurting these animals. That's usually the case with animal hoarders. And we're told Animal Planet says there's about 3,500 cases in the U.S. like this every year, 250,000 animals affected. So it is serious, and people who have to encounter this should get professional help. This woman does face charges of not properly taking care of her animals. We'll keep you updated on this and bringing more on your KTLA News coming up on the morning and also at 1 o'clock. Reporting live in Stanton, Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News. Back to the desk.
All right, Christina.
A nauseating stench alerts neighbors to a case of animal hoarding, and Christina Pascucci in Stanton will have that full report for you coming up.